Back in August last year, one of my local stores was holding a tournament using the World Championship ban list. Dragon Buster was semi-limited for this tournament, so I decided to play a meme. The meme was to put Mystic Mine into Blue Eyes, calling it Mystic Blue Eyes. Mystic Mine was also semi-limited for this particular tournament. I wasn't expecting the deck to do well in this tournament. After all, it's Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes did not do well in 2019. So how could I expect this deck to do anything in this tournament? I ended up getting 4th. A deck that I did not intend to do well placed 4th at this tournament. All because of Mystic Mine. My friends have yet to let me live this down. That's just one of the many issues with Mystic Mine and why it should be banned. Now, I understand that Mystic Mine has not been in a topping deck recently, but I still believe it's one of the most problematic cards in the game right now. Looking at the other floodgates in the game, they are either in monster form, so you have to normal summon it, or they're in trap form, so you have to set it and then activate it on your opponent's turn. Mystic Mine is a spell card, so you can activate it immediately. Plus, it's a field spell card, so you can search it out with terraforming, set rotation, metaverse, and the list goes on. Given that it's a field spell, it's automatically immune to a card that targets specifically the spell trap card zones. They also have access to Field Barrier, which is commonplace in decks that revolve around Mystic Mine. Plus, with these other floodgates, there's a pretty good chance you could still activate monster effects in hopes to get rid of it, or you could just attack over it. Mystic Mine prevents monster effects from being activated, and you can't attack if you have more monsters than your opponent. I've used Altergeist and Sky Strikers as examples before. With Altergeist, the Mystic Mine lockdown occurs with Altergeist Meluseek and personnel spoofing, being able to shuffle back Meluseek and add it back to the hand. And Meluseek not only attacks directly, but it's also sending things from the field to the graveyard. Once the lockdown happens, your only hope is to draw into a back row removal or Imperial Order, or just kind of lose. Sky Strikers have a similar lockdown, with Hayate being able to attack directly for 15. This is a little bit easier to break since there's always going to be a monster on board, so you can break it with something like Nightmare Phoenix. Even if Nightmare Phoenix is negated by a Widow Anchor or a Lost Wind, Mystic Mine is still going to go away because you're both going to have the same amount of monsters. And if you have Imperial Order, you just kind of win anyways because Sky Striker. Another problem with Mystic Mine is your opponent can sort of just sit on it until they have all the cards they need to win. Or it's a win condition if you don't run any back row removal in the main deck. Or even sometimes if you have that back row removal, they have negates for it. So, and even decks that are supposedly dead, like True Draco, are adding Mystic Mine to their deck. I understand their field spell was hit to 1, but I don't think this trade-off is any better. They are already using some oppressive floodgates, like an Inspector Border, or there can be only one. Why are we allowing Mystic Mine to be added to that mix? On top of that, there are the anti-meta decks and the mine and burn decks. Anti-meta already has a surplus of ways to make sure that the opponent doesn't get to play. They are usually running Mono Iwado, Inspector Border, Summon Limits, and pretty much any other floodgate you can think of. Mystic Mine is only adding to that headache. Mine and burn decks work in a very similar way, except they don't run monsters, and instead they use their back row in order to protect themselves until they can win the game. And Mystic Mine is just kind of used for continued stall. A friend of mine once pulled off the infinite negate loop with Union Carrier and Myth Valley Apex Alien. It was outed by normal summoning a Mono Iwado and activating Mystic Mine. I guess it takes degeneracy to beat degeneracy. So I forgot to mention this while making this video, but The reason why Mystic Mine has fallen out of favor is because of Eldritch and their ability to search out Conquistador of the Golden Land. I think most of us can agree that Mystic Mine is a pretty problematic card for the game. So why didn't Konami ban it? A card like Mystic Mine is not healthy for the game, and it creates a lot of one-sided scenarios that frustrates players. It's just an unfair card that should have never been printed. Back to the topic of Mystic Blue Eyes. I actually did fight someone that day who wanted to use Mind Burn, but they weren't able to that day. I'm just kind of curious to see how that match would have worked out if they were able to use Mind Burn. Maybe that day would have gone a little bit closer to how I expected it to go. Thank y'all so much for watching. My name is Brent. I am Maxed Out Weird, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace!